of that shot stepped up to and blocked by the Snipers. And quickly down the floor, Ashton Jacobs working with a breakaway, puts the brakes on and goes over the shoulder. As the Snipers will pass it back all the way up to the restraining line. Quickly into the corner for Albrecht. They get down to the crease and they score once again. Quickly, 2-0 here for Six Nations. Out here in front, they end up on the crease, and he goes to the far side for Tchaikovsky. Here's Sanders again, the shot. Warren Hill, he was leaning way left, and Dylan Goddard couldn't come up cleanly, or he had all the right side of the net, and it turns into a goal the other way, unassisted for Tom Montour. Here in the second quarter, Triolo bridges over top of the ball. 5 on the clock as John St. John gets it back. Took a big bump, had to check to make sure he still had the ball. Then lets a big shot go on Hill, who makes the save. Rebound controlled by Josh Gilray. Gilray outrunning 2 defenders will now flip it off for Triolo. Oh, nifty pass there and a goal. On this turf, Higgins did get over to make contact with that ball, but it will be Luke Laskowicz making it 5-1 here. Here's Mike Triolo. Triolo coming in. Oh! They do call that a goal. This is pretty. At first I thought that went off the crossbar. Now over to the far side. Dancing around up for Weiss. Fake the shot. And then finds his man in tight, Craig Point with a goal. That's just the respect that people have for the shot of Roger Weiss. And some more shoving as Zach Sloan will now head to his own bench. 8-2 is the score for Six Nations over the Outlaws, and maybe that'll stem some of the momentum there. Daryl Robertson works in front and he will score. That'll make it 8-3. Already 3 goals in this period. Breathing room for this Oshawa defense. Lane Smith trying to go back. It ends up with How Dice Miracle, and that's one that Higgins gets a piece of this, but just not enough as it ends up in the back of the net. Now as he comes across center. Played back for Miracle, already with the hat trick today. Scored the first goal of the game, and that looked bad. Oh my goodness, that looked really bad for that right leg of How Dice Miracle. He has gone down and has not moved. Fell in the corner and the knee bent awkwardly, and we can hear him from here. Longtime Six Nations trainer coming out to help How Dice Miracle. He's going to stay out in forecheck, although now going to the bench, and trainer's right there. Looks like he'll just walk right past here. This is a good pick and roll coming through, and they just couldn't execute on the back end with Matt Benedict. So shot clock continuing to tick down. They go around the back now into the corner. Brandon Slade still trying to get to the crease, and does. And him and Masters a little bit of contact, and now they get up, and I was waiting to see if anyone would respond there. Couple parting whacks for those two combatants as Rudy George all the way up top now. They go down to the crease, taking flight, and more contact on Masters as Marvin Curry went in, and now finally there's a response, and we're going to have a scrap. That was one too many in on Masters. Marvin Curry and Brody Burkhoff fresh out of the penalty box. He's going to make Curry answer for that one, but in return, the Shockwave answer for everything they've thrown at Masters so far. And now Burkhoff's got the lefts free. Jerseyed a bit for Curry, and that one connects, and Curry goes down hard. It looks like Chris Atwood has retained the ball. No, he did actually pass off, pardon me, to Rudy George. As now Atwood and Becker play catch. Oh, goodness gracious. what a pass from Chris Atwood. Josh Becker picks up his 3rd point from the X position. And Masters way out of it. And that was all developed by Marvin Curry. So many players would have taken that shot long before getting the goalie out of position. Atwood pulls that away from Burkhoff as it rolls back in. Atwood setting up for the big hit, ends up taking down 2 Timbermen players. And more words for Atwood here. He goes immediate cross check and extra chops and a cross check to the head. And here comes big brother Brody Burkhoff, his 2nd major of the game, in with Mike Atwood. This may be a bit more than he could bit off more than he could chew here, and Burkhoff doesn't say that very often. This will be interesting, as Burkhoff still a couple ground shots, body shots as they're on the ground here. Atwood got in a few extra punches. That funny one is here they go again, and another one. Nick Finley, who has to slot in at the face-off dot. Becker will get it up, finding Brooker Muir. Here's Muir, down for Curry, had to reach for it. And Atwood, how many moves was that to fake out Masters? Oh, wow. Atwood, Becker, and Curry. Becker now with 6 points that we've got him for up here in the booth. Off the body of Patrick Miles before going up into the rafters, so Drake Smith will get it again. From the X position, reaching through, and the modified air gate in behind Steve Fryer. Yes, we play NLL rules here in Arena Lacrosse. Pretty goal from infield, they call it the X position. Top Spencer Pike, here's Burke. Now the cutter, over the shoulder, oh, what a goal right there. Andy Campbell. It's either a 26 or a 28. It definitely is Andy Campbell taking that feed and going over the shoulder. This one down the floor. Jordan Critch in front again. Critch hands his own rebound, and as Vigneault steps out, the big 5-hole opens up. And that'll release the penalty boxes. It'll also make the score 7-6. Stuck in the stick here. Now a big hit and a nice job to shovel it forward by Reed Board. What happened here? Oh my goodness. A huge, I want to say scrap, but we haven't seen. I don't even know who this is. The jerseys are gone. And they go down. Down the far side though. Quick off the bench is Burke and reaches over Fryer after the initial fake. Nobody's made a move to the bench yet to get Fryer back out there. Now Brendan Muse does, as there's a big scrum as someone was taken down. Now the helmet ripped off the head. Looks like of Stu Micklehorn. And Jordan Dance is just going to keep going on Micklehorn. We'll see what this call is, because I would stop very short of calling it a fight. It's more a mugging by Jordan Dance. And that win by Paris allowed them to jump in a two-way tie for second with Oshawa. As Oshawa coming back in again, this time it is Triolo in transition. Goes off to the races and just can't hang on. Beautiful pass by Wendy, though. And now Brendan Muse, the recipient. He's going to bounce it through the legs. What a play. Nice recovery by Scott out of the corner. And the finish by Brendan Muse. This starts with a great pass. And another one off the face-off. Straight down the floor. The McMichael brothers now connecting. Big tie up here. Arms go high from the players. Officials keep theirs down as Miles goes hard after his man again. Dan Ransom, who comes up looking for, and Miles is swinging. He's got Ransom's helmet and chucks it. Miles with Gillies off the bench to Muse to the far side. And pardon me, that was Andrew Bennett coming off the bench. Beautiful passing play here. And winning this battle. And how about the spinning shot there off the face-off, does it himself. And this is the first sign of extended momentum in front. Diving through attempt. Now quickly clearing the crease was Josh Miller. And a goal called here as Wendy's down. Mike Sullivan, the lead official, and the Toronto Monarchs bench arguing the crease violation. Thought he may have tried to go airborne with Wendy out of the net. Triolo just going to use his size. Oh, what a play. Someone yelled a crease violation, but he was very close. When he crossed, though, as Higgins comes out, and he's going to jump the ball carrier. Helmet came off of Higgins. Muse is in there. Andrew Bennett got in there quickly. Seth Laidlaw to play peacemaker. He kind of knew Nick Grasby would be in there somewhere. Not sure what that was about for Higgins, unless he was just trying to stop play to get his mask back situated. It is on right now. Guys coming off the bench, look out. Go. Oh. There was a stream coming off, and now it's everybody. Monarchs and Outlaws and at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. 17-15 looks like will be your final score. Main event is in the corner. Graham Bergsma and Nick Grasby sharing a chuckle in the middle of the pile. There's the signal, run the clock, 17-15. Will be your final score for the Toronto Monarchs as they defeat the Oshawa Outlaws and create a statistical three-way tie for second place in the Arena Lacrosse League standings. As the Monarchs now in a tie with Oshawa and Paris. Of course, Paris playing St. Catharines later this week, and Peterborough and Six Nations as well, the two hottest teams, also coming up on the YouTube channel. So be sure to check the JVI YouTube page for that, as well as our season-long continuing coverage of Arena Lacrosse League action here on the JVI Sports Network.
Six Nations taking a shot. There's a rebound off of the back while he scores. I've seen countless goals scored like that, and it just gets prettier every time I see it. Bounces off the end board, gets it back, now inside, putting on the dangles, turned aside, Chancey Johnson. And now there's some roughing after the whistle here. There's Johnson, turns around and just drives a punch right to the head of Brody Burkhoff. And now Burkhoff and Johnson are going to go at it in the corner. There's a shot from Burkhoff. Burkhoff getting some decent shots in there. Finally puts Johnson on his back. He's feeling pretty good about that one. You could see that. Off. Cross to Lane Smith. Lane Smith takes a push, charges the net, he shoots, and makes it look easy. Lane Smith. Here's a 2-on-2, 2-on-3 for Six Nations, and there you go. That will do it for the sixth goal for Six Nations, as Point just gets out of the box and is able to let Van Every back onto the floor. Six Nations, the opening face-off of the third quarter goes to the Nations. Whoa. Some quick roughing going on early in the period. Looked like Marcus Elvin was trying to get his way to the net and bomb up to Paulus. Paulus charging the net. Behind the back pass, behind the back shot. What a goal that was. Travis Longboat finishes a beauty of a pass with a beauty of a shot. Turned aside by Martin. Back up to the other end. 3-on-1. And Quinn Paulus finishes off another rush of a play for the Snipers. It's up the other end of the floor. Corbett takes a step inside, and he's going to retaliate with a nifty goal of his own. Turned aside by Masters, nets off. And Masters on his knee makes the save. Looked like he took that off of the hand. Gloves off, and looks like he's in a bit of pain. That had to have stunned him. Back out to Van Every. Shot turned aside. Masters getting a little frisky, and now here's some hitting after the whistle. Here comes Chase Martin all the way down. He even seen that too. You caught that. Masters was going for the loose ball there. Decided to take a swing out of frustration at the legs. Looking at the ref like he was expecting a call, but it's a 2-on-2 the other way. And left with some room. Make no mistake, he's just going to make it look easy. Underhand shot from Spencer Pike, turned aside. There's a bomb. Connects. And there's the goal to seal the deal. Brandon Slade. Keene right on the crease. Scoops that one right off the floor and catches Crawley with his stick off of the ground. He'll send that in.